Okay. Let me hopefully get up stuff for comments. Hi. Hi. Where are we? Da-da-da. Shadow work. Oh, shoot. Mute. Wait. Hate hearing my voice. There it is. Okay. All right. So, hello. How is everyone? All right. And you guys, some of you were early. I'm really sorry. Hi. Welcome. Sherry, Courtney, Doug, Emma. Hi. Moonraven. Hi. Kim. Hi. How do we already have 2 haters? We have to have the haters.
Wait, are they Bible thumpers?
Yeah. Well, we just got 2 dislikes already.
Oh.
So.
All right.
We have to have the people who have to come on just to.
I'm sorry, I totally just bumped your ass.
I'm telling.
I mean, I just told everybody.
What am I looking for? Tower. Strength and Fool. Tower, Strength, and Fool. I cannot find the deck that I started pulling our weekly cards, and I can't find it right now, of course. So I'm just pulling out another deck of the ones that we're using quickly because, and not one of them, or I haven't Strength. That's one for tonight. Shit. Cat's out of the bag. Come on. Tower, Full, Tower. Oh, there's my Tower. Full. Hello? Full? If it's the last card, I'm going to be really pissed. How is everybody tonight? How is your weekend going? Second to last. All right. Hi, Kay. Pookie says, hello, Mikey.
Hi, Pookie.
All right. So how is everyone's weekend? Is everyone good? Trying to fix my dumbass Roku? Uh-oh. Why is your Roku dumb? This TV is a Roku. So I was going to say, maybe I could help you, but let's be honest. If you can't figure it out, I don't know what's wrong. What deck were you using? I was using The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. I just figured out where it probably is.
Do you want me to go get it?
No, that's all right. I'll get it after. Because Peter stacked everything over there. And it was for Tarot Tuesday. I used it for Tarot Tuesday. Okay. Keeps disconnecting from the Wi-Fi like once every 3 months. Ugh.
Hi, Kay.
Is that secret, Mikey? I destroyed my crochet project and I'm starting over. I hate being a perfectionist. Oh, that sounds like shadow work. Needing to do shadow work. So how is everyone doing? Are you being good to yourself? How is shadows? Yes, how is shadow work doing? It's hard, right? Tell me it's not hard. Shadow work sucks. It's hard. It's so good for us to do, but it's really hard. Right? Everybody? Isn't that the one in your hand? No, this is, but these are the 2 cards that we've been using, and I needed to pull the card for tonight, so I used my my Chinese version of the Lightseers that someone gave me. Because you know me, I won't buy Chinese decks, but like, what am I going to do? Throw it out? Anyway. Hi, Benny.
Oh, thanks, Crimson Moon.
Did I miss it?
It was on your phone.
Oh.
There it is.
Oh, it takes a while. It sucks. I'm being good, but a couple of days, I feel like the freaking groundhog seeing my shadow and I want to go back in the cave. It's really hard. It's the good thing. And here's the good thing. I love that everybody is doing it with me, because I don't know if you guys have had this happen. Maybe I keep thinking I have an advantage because so many of our spiritual people I am dealing with on a daily basis. So I have had a lot of reminders. Like people are like, yeah, but shadow work. Yep. That's so true. Shadow work. Which is good though, because then you go, oh yeah. Yep, shadow work. That's true. And if you look at it in the correct way, you can go, wow, the universe really is putting shit in front of me this time that you wanted to talk about something earlier. Damn it, Benny. Well, Mel and Mark are coming over at 8, which I didn't tell you this.
Tomorrow?
No, tonight.
Oh,
That
okay.
they messaged me right before I went live, and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, of course you can come over. But so you're welcome to come back.
Yeah.
Come back anytime. We're on. Come on in. But it's nice though to have the people around you know that you're going through this and go through it with you, to say, you know what, either be easy on yourself, remember that we're going through this, remember that this is kind of a hard period of enlightenment, remember that there's a lot of stuff coming up for all of us, that, hi Groon, I haven't seen you in a while, that, that
Hi,
may be
Stephen.
kicking your ass, because it so is. There's so much stuff coming up for me, and I know for everyone else, because I know everyone else is talking about it too, that is like, I'm being hit with this thing. Well, it's because we're purposely bringing it out.
Mm.
Don't forget that. And wouldn't it be nice if our shadow work was the stuff that we were like, oh, that's okay if we bring it up. That's not that hard. It's shadow work because it's hard. Because it's the stuff that we're like, oh yeah, I didn't want to deal with that. We're going to shove that way down. And someday when I'm like feeling better prepared about myself, then we'll pull that out and try to deal with it. It's the hard stuff. It's the stuff that we're like, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to do it. That's the stuff that we're here. I do have a rocking chair couch. Isn't that nice? The nice Mr. Griffin left us his furniture, and this was part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. We do hear him here. Did I tell you that?
No.
When we're asleep, he's in the hallway sometimes and stuff, and I'm like, hello.
He's just making sure everything's good.
Yep, he is. It's just not happening for me. And that's, Stephen, it's okay. It's okay. The fact that you're aware means that there's stuff coming up. Whether you're able to deal with it completely, whether you recognize everything that you want to recognize about it, the stuff that we're aware of it means that stuff is coming up. And that's okay. That's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. So, couple things. First of all, I didn't even crack this book yet. First of all, the things that we went through last week, I will be most honest and say my 2 pages are not filled out yet. I've looked at them a couple times and I just have not had the chance to fill them out. It's this, I think part of it is this first question for me is a hard question, which was I am most judgmental about, because a couple things. One is I have tried very hard not to be judgmental about most things on purpose. Like I'm not that everybody doesn't do this. I know everybody does this, but I do try really hard to put myself in other people's shoes. Having said that, I will say that there's absolutely things that I am judgmental about. One of them, it has to do with political stuff. Everybody's favorite topic. Because when you are on one side or the other, or you lean one side or the other, or whatever, because of the climate that we're in now, it's been forced on us that we feel like we're so far apart that there's just nothing that we see the same at all. And we know that's not true. I mean, in my generation, and part of this comes from Mikey and I were just talking about all this, which is why it was a little late. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But in my generation, we knew that we felt differently about things. We knew that my brother, who I love dearly, is like the complete opposite person from me. Complete opposite. He is a conservative. He calls himself a
fiscal conservative?
Nope. What's the one that they squirrel brain. He calls himself, he wants everybody to leave him alone.
Oh, me.
It's yep, my squirrel brain is not going to libertarian. Thank you. Libertarian. That's it. That's what he calls himself.
It is my fault, Stephen. It is. I'll accept that.
Mama, can you put my dog Destiny in your basket? She has a sinus infection. Absolutely. Done. There. He calls himself a libertarian. He owns a whole bunch of guns, AR-15s and all that stuff. And I have shot a few guns in my life, but I have never owned a gun ever. He's conservative. He thinks conservative and stuff. And it used to be we could have discussions about political stuff, kind of. Like, we knew we had to skim the surface. We didn't dive real deep or anything. But we respected each other because we knew that we had strong-held beliefs for a reason. And even though I totally disagreed with pretty much everything that he believed, I knew his intentions were kind of, he felt like the end result was the same as where I want to get to. We just thought there was completely different roundabout ways of getting there. And that has always been that way up until now. Like, before this generation, came to pass, I feel like we would hold our political beliefs, but we didn't talk about them very much, or we at least respected each other enough to not say, well, you're stupid for not believing exactly what I believe. And I think a few things have changed that's made that hard. And one is the news is all money-based now, so that we all get different news. There is almost nowhere that you can get just the facts, ma'am, which is what we used to have. Everyone in my generation sat down and watched the 6 and 6:30 news, and it was specifically created to say, here's the facts, form your own opinion. Because they weren't allowed to take advertising dollars. They weren't, there was no money involved with news. None. Period. End of story. Nobody, and you did not know what side the news people were on because they kept that part out of it. Now, everything is so ingrained in money that when I click on any kind of news article, my computer sends into the cloud, oh, she likes this kind of article, so that's all I see is this side and this side's opinion and more craziness of this side, and it won't even show me the other side. So I think that's a huge difference. That makes our jobs harder to suss out exactly where the facts lie. And I think that social media in general and the nature of the internet means that what we tend to hear is the loudest, craziest side. And then we think, oh, everybody thinks like that. Because that's what we hear, is the crazy people on Twitter, the crazy people on Instagram, the crazy people on Facebook, the whatever. We only hear the people who are the loudest, craziest people who have 300 million followers, we don't hear normal people. And so it's easier to think everybody is on one extreme or the other, and there is no way that we could ever connect with each other.
We're not seeing or hearing each other. We're just seeing the reactionary.
Yes, exactly. So it makes it hard to not be judgmental. Even when you're really trying, it makes it really hard. So that's something I need to work on still. That's one of my things in shadow work that I'm bringing up. And I think for me, part of that, it needs to be, and again, it's hard again, though, because everything is so reactionary. It's really hard to say, hey, tell me about your views on things, because there's so much emotion wrapped up into our beliefs of how our views were made that it's hard not to put everything you are into that belief. And then if somebody says they don't believe that or they believe differently, we immediately want to go, oh, you're one of those. Oh no, but how? So it's, and nobody, it gets to the point where you just don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, just don't bring it up. But we have to find a way to find middle ground somewhere, or we're never going to solve anything. All of the political administrations that have come up in the modern age have not gotten a whole lot of shit done. Because it has been, oh, the other side is trying to do something, let's block the other side.
Yeah.
It seems like nobody, and heaven forbid we try to work together. That means they worked together, that they must be outcasted.
Yeah.
On both sides. It's ridiculous. I was, as a liberal, and you all know I'm a liberal, I'm disgusted with the fact that my party apparently, one way or the other, if they're totally progressive, the progressive people are like, how dare you work with just the Democrats? What? They're supposed to be our side still. I don't understand. Wait a second. It's something's going to have to change eventually, and if we want change, we're going to have to start it with ourselves. That's what shadow work is. So we're going to have to somehow find a way to disagree politely, but know that humanity says we have to put that aside a little bit and understand that everybody just wants what they think is best for them and their kids and their community.
Keep the end goal in mind.
Yes. Okay. I can't even count how many people I was friendly with have exposed their casual racism as if I would agree with them, and I've cut them off. I'm not ready to call that a shadow of mine. And I don't mean that's true. I'm not, and I don't mean casual racism stuff. There's a difference for sure. Mm-hmm. Except that, and I will never accept that racism has to come with that, because I don't think that's a political thing. You have to be responsible for your beliefs, and if you're using politics to further racist agenda, that's a different thing. Yeah. That's not true politics. However, if like you're not talking to one of the crazy extremes on one side or the other, we should be able to say, like, oh, as much as I will say I can't stand my mother's boyfriend because he's a conservative and I completely disagree with how to do things, I know that even though he voted for Trump, when I said to him, how could you do that though? Knowing everything that how could you do that? And his response was, the judges. We wanted the judges in. And I hate that. I hate it. I'm like, ugh! But I understand it at least. I'm like, okay, so to further your agenda, the way you think things should go, all right, I disagree with you, jerk, but okay, fine. And because of that, it means I can tolerate him. I love him as a human being. I know that he loves my mother when she's not hoarding too much. And I know that he's a good person. I don't think he's like out to, kill me because I'm not on his side. And that has to come in someplace. I watched one video of a guy I thought was pantry prepper, and then my feed was full of doomsday preppers. It's funny though, Doug. Here we're talking about that too. All right, and maybe this is too political. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole.
I think we're already there.
But I know. But we were talking about that too because I said, same thing. Like I'm kind of like, my brother. Actually, I was talking about my brother because my brother has all these guns, and I'm like, Jason, I don't understand. You have this AR-15. Well, he has several, I guess. I don't know. I've never even asked to see them because I'm like, oh, whatever. He has, and I'm like, but why? You're not a hunter. He's not a hunter. He hates hunting. He left veterinary school because he didn't want to have to hurt animals to help them. Okay, so he is humanitarian all the way. He loves animals. He's not a hunter. I'm like, you own all these guns. Why do you own all these guns? I don't understand.
Because humans are the most dangerous animal.
Yes, yep, exactly. And that's true. That's exactly. And he's like, but because I want to be able to protect my family, if something happened, like he, in his mind, he's like, if something happens and I have to be able to protect my family and there is a revolution in this country, I want to be able to protect my family. And I'm like, and at the time, this was a long time, but this was like 10 years ago. So at the time, I'm like, oh, come on. What do you think is going to happen? Like people are going to come to your house and stuff. And I'm like, now I'm kind of like, I don't know. Things are so volatile. Maybe that would happen. I don't know. I can't say for sure that what he thinks it is a viable option would not happen because we're kind of at this place now where I'm like, I said to Mikey, we're going to be in big trouble. The Democrats are going to be in big trouble because none of us own the guns. So what are we going to do? Throw our hummus at them? But so even though I disagree with him, I can kind of see where what he was talking about could happen. The system is broken. Yes. And the shadow government wants it that way. Okay. Take you off to now. But the system is broken. Exactly. And it's broken from the inside out. So we have to find a way to fix it or revolutionize together. The people have to find a way to find a common ground and change the system. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen unless we can somehow find common ground with each other to say, you know what, it's the system. We have to change the system. We may have our differences and we may say everybody else is crazy and we have to figure out something different. But we have to find a way to work together to then say as a people, the system has to change because it's got to change from us to them. They're never going to allow the change to come back to us. Okay, so shadow work. Ready? Mama Squirrel President 2024. First female and first witch. Can you imagine? As soon as they found out I was a witch, forget it. Oh my gosh. Hate politics, feel like they're all liars. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I totally understand and I feel the same way. And I feel like even the politicians that start off with good intentions, in order to work within that system, they have to be corrupt. How can they not? Otherwise, they wouldn't be there very long to change anything. The system is built so that it has to continue the corruption in order for itself to survive. So of course they end up being, even the people that have good intentions trying to get there, when they get there, they have to work within a corrupt system. So it's horrible all the way around.
Well, it starts with the campaigning. As soon as you start taking corporate funding, then you're leaning one way, whether it's for the best intentions or not down the road. It's not a long-term solution. It's just a quick fix to get the money to get into power.
Yep. And then if you don't take the corporate money, you're never going to win. So then it's like, we have to find a way somehow to change the system or we're never gonna.
I want to see politicians campaign with NASCAR style jackets with like the patches of their sponsors on it.
Sponsored by, so we know.
In the sake of transparency.
Yes. Okay. Loads of Democrats in my area have guns. Well, that's what we were just saying. I don't know, maybe. God, I've never in my life wanted a gun, but maybe I have.
And gun
to
ownership
think about
isn't a political inherently a political decision either.
Yeah,
so
it's
we're
not
not
at
saying
all.
no Democrats have.
Yeah, not at all.
Have guns or anything like that.
Not at all. Me as a person, I've never wanted a gun because I'm not a hunter. I've never felt like I should carry a gun that may come from be a product of who my husband is and the fact that I have 4 big boys that I've never felt like I need a gun to protect my family. And I don't know why. I don't know. That's just where I came from. But that doesn't mean that I think anybody else shouldn't have a gun.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. I think it's just transparency. That way you know whose influence and whose money is going into the government with the candidate that you're voting for or considering voting for.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's capital, man. That's money.
Yes, exactly. For sure.
Oh, 30 minutes in. That was a good...
Thank you, Stephen. And that was question 1.
And this is just the recap of the conversation we had earlier.
This is just recapping last week. We're in trouble this week. Okay. What do I want to heal from? Honestly, I think I'm going to skip this question because, there's so much in life that I want to heal from all my traumas and hurts and pains and all that. There's a lot of things that I need to heal from.
Start small.
But yeah, absolutely. You have to start small. And you have to start with, to me, I want to start with the stuff that affects me on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. The stuff, the mundane stuff that I don't think about, then I'm like, oh, wait, maybe that's why I think that. That's the stuff.
You're fixing your hair, and it's the reflection of the reflection that's moving in the
Isn't that weird?
What the hell?
Right? Isn't that weird?
Sorry.
I know, it's the mirror thing, and then it goes, yeah, like standing in a mirrored room. Okay, so today's video is called Going Within. And the reasoning is because we really, in order to do shadow work, we need to find our shadows. And how are we going to find our shadows? We need to go within to seek them out. How do we do that? And we started a little bit. I started talking about meditation last week. That is going to be a big part of this. And so many times, I can't tell you how many times I bring up meditation and people are like, yeah, but I can't meditate. I just can't. You're thinking of meditation incorrectly. I don't want you to think of meditation as sitting in the middle of the room with your legs crossed and your eyes closed and a specific hand position and yes, and complete silence, or even guided meditations. If guided meditations don't do it for you, you should be thinking of meditation as this definition, which was good. Meditation is simply sitting still and noticing what comes up. Period. That's it. There's things that we can do to help to just sit with ourselves a little bit longer. There is techniques and stuff that we're going to talk about a little bit to try to help us be able to sit still for a little bit longer. That if at the very minimum, if you can say, I'm going to take 3 minutes, it would be good if you did 5, but in the first week or something, you might only be able to sit still for 3, and that's okay. I want us to all shoot for 5 minutes though. 5 minutes a day. When you wake up, before you go to sleep, on your lunch break, 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day. And I'm going to tell you the things that I want you to shoot for. And these are going to be some things to help us get through 5 minutes a day. And like I said, if you can't do 5 minutes, do 3. Do something. The first thing I'm going to tell you is Insight Timer app. It's available for Apple and for Android users. Insight Timer. I was just looking for my phone to show you the app.
It's right there.
Yep, there it is. It has a little singing bowl, copper singing bowl on it. It's called Insight Timer. INSIGHT. Insight Timer app. It's a free app. There is a paid version. I've never had the paid version. You don't need it. If you want to, and that's fine. But the free version is just fine. it's good for so many things, because however you feel is best for you to meditate, it's good for that. It will give you, literally, it will give you a timer. If you put 5 minutes on it and all you want is silent time for 5 minutes and you want a little singing bowl to go bing at the end of it, it will give you that. It will give you guided meditations for 5 minutes. If you type in time, 5 minutes, it will give you, here's a list of guided meditations for 5 minutes. And you can pick an affirmation or this or that. It does it by subject. It gives you so many options to help you with your meditation that it's a really good app. It will remind you daily. Hey, just reminding you, you haven't done your meditation today. Did you want to do that? I really like that, because it's like, oh yeah, I have to make time for me. 5 minutes a day should not be an imposition. Even if you have 4 kids running around and, sorry, Stephen, even if you have 4 kids running around and you're like, how am I going to find 5 minutes when all the kids finally go to sleep? Before you go to bed, take 5 minutes for yourself. Shut yourself in the bathroom if you have to. Lock the damn door.
I was just going to say, you can even just turn off the music to your right in for work. You can do it in the shower.
Yep.
Just stand under the water and there you go.
5 minutes. Yep. In your shower for 5 minutes. Whatever. Sit in a parked car. Exactly. 5 minutes. Try for 5 minutes a day. A quiet place, undisturbed. If you can, put a sign, tell your loved one, put a sign outside the door, just give me 5 minutes. It's called Insight Timer. INSIGHT, Insight Timer. And it has a picture of a copper singing bowl on it. Yes. So quiet place, undisturbed. Wherever you can, as best you can. If you're home alone and you have a baby, and try when they go down for a nap, or when they finally go to sleep at night, or whatever. Try 4 or 5 minutes. If it doesn't work out that way, you tried. But there are going to be times where you should be able to get 5 minutes in.
Yes, and make sure the car is yours, like Steven said. Yes. Don't use other people's parked cars.
Yes, try not to use other people's parked cars, because that may not work out so well for you either.
You do a lot of meditating behind bars, though.
Yeah, yes, that's true. You will definitely get more meditation time. Okay, never mind. No, I do not condone the use of, comfortable temperature. So if it's winter outside and you have to do it in a parked car, start the car and turn the heat on. So you're not freezing, because this is not going to be very meditative. You want to be a comfortable temperature, not too hot, not too cold. Try to have it at a fairly even temperature. If it's a little bit chilly and you think you might get cold, wrap a blanket around you. It's okay. But not an enclosed garage. Yes, Sherry, not an enclosed garage. Open the garage door, please. Yes. In a comfortable position. Now, one caveat. Whether that means laying down for you or sitting up. The only problem is with laying down, if you're like me and many, many other people, unless it's a Scotty meditation. Yes. If you're laying down and you're tired and you tend to fall asleep, don't lay down for your 5-minute meditation. You can do it now. If that helps you to go to sleep at night, which it totally does for me, then that's awesome too. Then do it for longer and, fall asleep to it at night. But try to do 5 minutes where it's not go to sleep time. So if you can't lay down and do the meditation, try to sit up in a comfortable position. That, again, you don't have to sit up and cross your legs on the floor. You can be in a chair. I will tell you that usually the comfortable position sitting up is with both feet on the floor, because then the weight of your leg doesn't start cutting off circulation to your other leg. It's a little bit easier to focus on what you're going to focus on if your feet are on the floor and they're not falling off and moving around and that kind of thing. Okay. Choose a focal point. I don't care what the focal point is. Choose a focal point. The Insight Timer app will give you guided meditations. If you find that you can't do it in silence, that you tend to think too much, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But if you just have too much coming up that you're like, I can't quite, it just doesn't, I'm not able to do that. Focus on something. You can focus on your breath. Try not to control your breath. at least when you're first starting off with meditating, which as soon as you focus on it, you're going to change it, whether you know it or not, because now you're focused on it and so you start changing it. But like, you don't have to breathe in for 2, breathe out for 4, hold for 6, then you're like trying to do that and you're not able to relax everything. So try not to do anything specific, just focus on your breath, or focus on your diaphragm, your stomach moving in and out. If that's too distracting to focus on your breath, focus on, oh, look, it's going out, it's coming back in. I'm breathing out, I am breathing back in. That something simple so that you don't have to really think too much about whatever it is. If you're outside, you might want to focus on a specific leaf on a tree, or like just something that doesn't, maybe it moves a little, it doesn't, it's not flapping all over, something very small that you can just make a focal point.
I close my eyes and focus on, those color swirls that you get?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
I focus on those. If I was outside and there was like a leaf moving, be like, hey, where's the wind coming from? What's happening? Ooh, bird.
And then, then a squirrel comes, and then you're like, oh, look at that squirrel, he's so cute. Yep. And then you're gone. Yep. I do that too, for sure. And if thoughts pop up, which they will, they're going to, do not punish yourself for the fact that you have thoughts coming up. It's normal. It's going to happen. The more that you are able to quiet yourself, the less that it happens, because you forgive yourself for it. You just have to kind of label the thought. So what do I mean when I say that? If you are sitting there and you're like, okay, breathe in, breathe out. I'm breathing in again and I'm breathing out again. I wonder if I went shopping today. Did I need milk from home? Oh shit. I'm thinking again. Damn it. As soon as you get that, oh shit, I'm thinking again, label it. Oh, this is a planning. All right, I'll let it go. I'll think about it later, and try to let it go. If you beat yourself up over it and you're like, oh, see, I knew I can do this. I can't just not think about anything because it just comes up. And then now you're thinking about beating yourself up for the fact that you had a thought come up. It's going to happen. Just label it. Identify it. Yeah, identify it. Yes. Send it on its way. That's all it is. Okay, that's what happened. I saw a hand pop up behind you and realized it was a reflection of your hand. Woo! That's funny. Oh, I'm so going to fuck with myself now. Okay. Sorry. Squirrel! Identify it. Let it go. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't keep going over it. It's sometimes the timer goes off and I realize I just thought for 5 minutes about all the stuff I was supposed to be doing. And then I'm like, oh shit, that didn't work. Nope. You know why? You sat there quietly with yourself for 5 minutes. Good for you. It's okay. It's all right. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Don't judge. Again, don't beat yourself up for it. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge your meditation. Don't go, oh, well, that was a really shit meditation. I can't believe I totally thought. Nope, don't judge. Sit for as long as comfortable. If you're going to aim for 5 minutes, if you're just starting out, aim for 5 minutes. If you can't, if after 3 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm going to die if I sit here anymore. Get up. It's okay. It's all right. Let yourself get up. Try again tomorrow. No big deal. Keep trying. And the other thing is journal after if you can. If you have the time to do a little journal entry like, oh, that was a good meditation. I really was able to sit there. Yay, go you. If it's 2 sentences, at least you know I did this. I documented that, yes, I tried today. I accomplished it. Or I had lots of things come up. My car alarm it distracted me and then I wasn't really able to do it. You can write, car alarm distracted me. It was kind of hard today. I sat though anyway for 4 minutes. Awesome. Then you documented that you tried that. It came along and it was done. I guarantee you that the more you do this, the more you're like, wait, I want to meditate for longer. This is great. Because you know what? 5 minutes a day changes your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
It changes how you see things. It changes how you feel. It gives you something to be proud of. The fact, like, it sounds so silly. It's like, really, I'm proud of myself for sitting for 5 minutes for a day. Yes, because you focused on your mental health, your spiritual health, I'm going to do this for me today for 5 fucking minutes. 5 minutes, I'm going to say, I'm worth 5 minutes of my entire day to just sit and be with myself. I can stand myself for 5 goddamn minutes. That's it. 5 minutes. After that, I'm telling you what, but I went through a year where I did meditation every day, and I was like, I'm gonna go meditate for a while. I'll be back in an hour or so. Like, I was trying to find time to meditate all the time, to the point where after a while I felt like, God, I'm kind of a selfish bitch. I just want to go meditate. And then I'm like, no, don't judge. But it really, because you're like, it's me time. It's my time to say, okay, am I okay today? Do I feel like I'm all right today? Is there anything that I'm not noticing? It's like, do I have a strain in my neck? I've been getting more headaches lately. The things come up that you don't allow yourself to think about when you don't have 5 minutes of quiet time. 5 minutes. It changes your life.
It's like taking inventory of what's going on internally.
Yes. And it's like we make ourselves so busy that we can't even think about. 5 minutes seems like forever. Even though it sounds funny, we're like, 5 minutes. I can find 5 minutes. But do we? Do you do it every day? Do you? I do once I start again. I'll be honest, I haven't for a while. The walking meditation, absolutely. And you can do a walking meditation as long as you can calm yourself enough. Because what happens if you do a walking meditation and you don't focus, you're not able to focus internally, that's not good enough. Because if you're walking and going, oh, look at the tree is pretty and there's a deer over there, and I want to take a picture of this because I know you, Courtney. That would make a great photo. And that's it. Then you're not focused on your internal being. You should be able to spend 5 minutes with yourself in quiet time a day. That is not a lot of time. It's not easy. I'm going to be honest with you. It is not easy to set aside 5 minutes of your time for just you, for just that. It's not easy. But you're worth it. You're absolutely worth it. And you're never, don't attack me like that. It's because I know you and I love you and I know you're worth it. It is not going to be easy to find your shadows unless you are able to quiet yourself enough to see what comes up. No problem, Emma. That's okay. It got me through a rough week. Meditation saved my nerves. I bet, Deb. I bet. A death is a death of someone that close to us. Her mother died last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is one of the hardest things a human being can go through. A death of a parent. So yes. Meditation. Definitely. Nothing wrong with that walking meditation. Absolutely. 10 minutes left. I may go over a little bit. So this is important. Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful. I will go back to EFT. I have never done EFT. So they do say that EFT is an option, and I'm sure it is. I don't. Hi, Hex. I don't know enough about it to recommend it. But
what is EFT?
So EFT is it stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And it's a way to shift your energy. When it's tapping, people used to call it tapping. So it's a way to shift your energy. It is tapping specific points.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And it shifts the energy so that if you're focused on one thing, it helps you to shift it to another thing. And like I said, I have not been through that training, and I've never had an EFT session or anything, so I don't feel qualified enough to talk about it enough, but I know that it has worked for a lot of people, and I can see where that would be helpful in helping the energy to shift because of your meridians and stuff. And what we do with Reiki, what a lot of Reiki people do, they do with this tapping, it changes the vibrations that are around you. For pricking my thumbs, there it changes the vibrational energy around you. So I get that. If you know about EFT and that is something that can help that. So if meditation you find you try for like a month and meditation is really not for you, then I will help you find somebody who knows more about the EFT stuff. Because I can see that.
Check through Graham's books. She had EFT training.
Did she?
That's what it was called. She always called it tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of in my generation we called it tapping.
Yeah.
NLP is good too. Okay, I know I should know what that is. Deb, NLP.
It just makes me think of National Lampoon.
No, National Lampoons.
Also
Party.
good. Also good, but.
I keep wait. I know there's such a lag that I'm like, okay,
yeah.
What is that?
And
it is neuro-linguistic programming. Ooh. Is that the chant stuff? Like specific chant stuff? Or am I thinking of something else? Some chiropractors use tapping in their practice for various reasons. Yep, I have seen that too. Absolutely. I tap with EFT every morning. Oh, nice. And Leanne, do you feel like that works for you? That allows you to kind of shift your vibrational energy? Anthony Robbins stuff. Ah, I gotcha. The big giant. I can't remember who originally called Anthony Robbins the big giant, but now that's all I see when I think of him. Okay, other ways to connect with yourself in the world. Shine your light and magic in the face of adversity. So there's always been ways that when you can use your light to shine a light in the darkness, it tends to allow you to see your own shadows and your light better. So if there is community projects and stuff out there that you can become a part of, there's always something to be said for shining your light for others that then comes back and allows you to see your stuff better. So is the release of emotions and unwanted thought patterns. Ooh, that's so interesting. See, now I want to learn.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Know that life exists in two worlds. We kind of talked about that. There is another plane, the ephemeral world, which if you have done your Nemeton meditation, I talked to a couple people this week who said, how about what if we try to do our shadow work when we go to our Nemeton? Because that would be a safe place to pull it out. And I'm like, oh, I love that idea. I think that's great. And I think that would work really well to be able to pull out those shadows in your Nemeton where nothing is there to judge you, that it's a safe place for you. It is your specific place where only your spirit guides reside. I think that's a fabulous idea. Go to your Nemeton and pull out your shadows there and see what happens, when you're there. Awesome. I loved that idea. Danny Mystic on YouTube has a really good shadow deep dive spread if anyone is interested in it. Absolutely. I've seen a lot of awesome spreads, but Danny Mystic is great. Gosh, I knew Danny when she called herself now I'm not going to remember because I'm a squirrel. But I love Danny. Her energy is awesome. Okay. Sacred space can change your life. And so we talked about at the very beginning doing a shadow work altar. That should be a part of your sacred space, a part of your space. And there's something that happens. Mystic Moon, thank you. Yes, I love you, Benny. That's what Danny's name was. There's something that happens when you make a sacred space in your home and you use that for sacred space only. There, it's like your body is, when you go into that sacred space, your body goes, oh yes, we're here for this spiritual work. Yeah. Exactly. And it's so, it just, as soon as you walk through the door, as soon as you sit in front of it, it's wherever it is. If it's a shelf, if it's an altar, if it's someplace that is your sacred space, if it's the back of the damn toilet, make yourself, a couple inches of sacred space. If it's, a candle on your dresser that is, when I light this candle, this is now my sacred space. Make yourself a space so that your body, your psyche knows, spiritual work, here we go. Because it prepares your shadows, it prepares your psyche for, I'm going to focus on me time. This is my time to, yes, I love this. That's why altars work for people. That's why people have altars in their house. It's funny. That's why altars end up taking over most of our houses, because we're like, I want a sacred space here, and this sacred space
this
is
one
for
goes
this.
Here. This one goes here.
Yep. I want this one over here, and when I go in front of this altar, this is what this one means. And so, yes, we tend to take over our houses with sacred space, but that's okay.
Never touch a rock in a witch's house.
Yes. No. Don't touch that one. Yes, I use my channel for color therapy, hypnosis, EFT, meditations, affirmations, spells, distance, Reiki, and more. Yay! Perfect. That's why we have so many altars. Yes. Well, the toilet is a good place for dealing with your shit. Steven, I love you. Dad joke of the night. Yes.
I don't know. The don't use other people's cars one was pretty good too.
Yes, that was a good one too. Yeah. Yes.
And Steven's just the group dad.
Yes, he is. Everything. So yes. The other thing is, keep in mind that everything is made of energy. So those of you who have watched me for long enough know that everything is made of vibrational frequency, and we are able to connect to everything. So if you're feeling a shadow from a thing or a person, you can take a moment to connect to that and say, what am I seeing from this? What is it that when I look at this person, when I look at this object, when I feel this place, I feel this shadow fold over inside of me? What is that? And you can do that through your meditation. Take a look, connect to that place and say, why? What is this? Show me what it is that I'm like, I don't like this. There's something there that doesn't feel good. There's something that I'm specifically against here. If you're ready. Don't do it if it terrifies you. Don't do it if you are like afraid of it. Don't do it if you are curious, like, I want to get closer to my true spiritual self, and so therefore I'm exploring stuff, and you still feel like that's okay, go for it. That doesn't mean connect to everything that you're terrified of. Not what I'm saying at all. Okay, so the card for this week is going to be, so we did the Fool card. Last week we focused on the tower, and we focused on the foundation of the tower. What are we building off of? Where is the foundation that we are going to build so that if lightning strikes our tower, it's not going to crumble? This is where we're looking for shadows to start building light into, so that we have a strong foundation to build up from that. This week we're looking at strength, and strength means our internal strength. We have it. We all have it. Whether you feel it, whether you know it, we all have an internal strength. Why do I know that? Because you're here. You're here listening to me talk about doing hard shadow work. So you're interested in it. You are trying to better yourself. You are a strong person. My Namaton is a boat. The cold breeze flowing over the humidity, reminding me that there is a balance. Well, I like that. Mm-hmm. Remember, your Nematon has its own correspondences and focus on them to help improve meditation. I love you, Court. Just want to. Okay. So you have the strength to do this because you are here, curious, looking internally to find out how you can better yourself. You've got it already. So focus on the fact that you do have strength. You have that internal strength. Your internal strength may not all come from you. It may come from your ancestors, those who have gone before you, your higher powers, your gods and goddesses, your guardians, your guides. There's so many entities behind you, pulling for you, rooting for you, and trying to help you get to your better self. I can't even describe. My youngest son, who was born a medium, is the one who helped me to realize it's funny that we're like, I want to reach out to my grandmother, who I really miss, I don't remember when, but he was fairly young. I remember saying to him, do you ever see like my grandmother around and stuff? And he's like, do I ever not? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, you don't understand. They're always there. It just because we're not reaching out to them doesn't mean they're not there. They're all like, we all come with this crew behind us, constantly there, pushing us forward, saying, yeah, you're awesome. You can do this. We believe in you. We're right here if you need us. Because we don't know they're there doesn't mean they're not. They're always there. It's whether we're connecting to them or not is a different thing. We don't always think that they're there. We don't always feel their presence. We don't always try to connect to who they are. But if you stop and think and you're ever able to feel their presence, if you stop and go, are you there? Yeah, I guarantee you they're going to go, still here. I'm right. I don't go anywhere. I'm right here for you. Mm-hmm. We all have a crew. We just have to acknowledge that they're there. That's it. They're waiting for us to acknowledge that they're there. Which is, I think, why once I realized that, I love going to mediums and stuff, especially when they're real. That sounded so bad, didn't it?
No, but it's true.
But it is true. You can kind of tell the ones that are like, honestly, really in this because they feel like they have to help people. And
the ones that are in it for the money.
Yeah, exactly.
The one that I went to was like, I sense an older presence, maybe a great grandparent. I'm like, yeah, I'm 30. Good shot in the dark there. Good job
that I do have dead grandparents.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Such an astute observation.
Woohoo, go you. Yeah. But it is that I don't want to say never. I very rarely, though, get approached, like in group settings and stuff, by a medium because someone is trying to contact me and stuff. Because since my son told me that, I always talk to them. So they don't need to go through anybody else. So my people, they never step up for like a medium to say, hey, can you tell her? Because they're behind me all the time going, hey, idiot, I'm trying to talk to you. And then I'm like, what? Oh, all right. I understand, Graham. I gotcha. I know. I love you too. I know you're behind me. I know. But so they don't bother to come out with like mediums and stuff because they know all they have to do is kick me in the ass. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know. All right. I remember. Okay, fine. But because of that, I like never get pointed out from mediums and stuff. My mother gets mad at me. She's like, I'm not bringing you. Because like she has paid for us to go to like, what's the one with the long nails? Manhattan? No. Long Island medium. Yeah. She's paid for us to go to her like 6 times or something. And she never, and I'm like, of course she didn't, Mom. Because we know that they're there. And she's like, shut up. Would you just shut up? Let them come. I'm okay. I'm sorry. But it's because I know they don't need them to talk to me. They're always there. So they don't need that. So strength. We have the strength within and we have the strength of the people who are around us. Teresa Caputo. Yes, that's the one. Yes. Ancestors are so subtle. Yeah, I know. Aren't they? Yeah, mine will kick me off a cliff when I need it. So definitely. Okay. So your job this week is to start a meditation practice. And again, don't think that means sitting in the room. It's taking 5 minutes out for yourself a day to try to sit with yourself in quiet. Mm-hmm. That's it. Take 5 minutes to sit yourself in quiet. Let's see. I've not even looked at the journal prompts for next week because I didn't do this week's one. I got to catch up. And you know what? This should be a good lesson. Am I beating myself up over it? Nope. It was a busy fucking week. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. I'm going to catch up. What am I most reactive to? Ooh, this is a tough one for me. What am I most reactive to? There's quite a few things that I'm most reactive to. That'll be a good journal entry. And what memories from childhood stand out? Oh, here we go again. What feelings surface when I remember them? So, and again, that's for me, that's a tough one because of the traumatic thing with my dad. There's very few memories that I think are actual memories that I'm remembering. Mm-hmm. There's very few.
Same. I remember like the home videos, the stories that people tell me, the pictures, but not like, oh yeah, I remember going to such and such's birthday party, and
yep, I remember people telling me about that time.
I remember the picture of
I don't necessarily have a whole lot of my own childhood memories. There's a couple, and it's funny, the ones that I do have, I'm like, well, that's boring and stupid. Like I have a very clear image of my mother sleeping on the couch.
I have one of my dad standing in front of a window during a lightning storm.
See, it for some reason my childhood they're very mundane, mm-hmm. every day. They're not some great memory of a birthday. They're not. It's just some weird mundane. This is what I remember.
Mm-hmm. Or trauma.
Or trauma. Yes.
Yep.
I have a few specific things that I think are my memories, but it's funny, they're not parent memories. They're ones of my grandparents, like at the cottage at the lake, and don't have anything to do with my parents. So, and it's not that my parents were bad people or anything. That, we went through the trauma with my dad getting arrested and stuff, but was he a bad person? No, he was just an idiot. Duh. Mm-hmm. He did the best he could, but it just made it so I don't have a whole lot of childhood memories. Apparently, that's just what happens, mm-hmm. and that's okay. But so, try to think of that. Put your strength card on your altar. We should now have 3 cards: the Fool, the Tower, and your strength card on your altar. On your altar, to remind us of of what we're working through, of the things that we've been focusing on. And we will come back. Now next week, we're going to do the check-in on Wednesday night because I will not be doing a sale on Wednesday night. We're doing, our only sale is going to be on Black Friday. We're doing a huge, huge thing on Black Friday. So make sure you check in on Black Friday if you have shopping or anything to do. We're going to have all kind like stuff half off, and we're going to try to clear out a lot of the things so that we can pull in what we want to have still here. Hey, Estelle, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while, sweetie. Saturday. Okay. What else? Oh, Tarot Tuesday is still going on. We have the 7 of Pentacles, which should be a good one because we actually went over it in this series before, but YouTube erased a video, so I have to redo it. And then Wednesday will be the check-in, and then Thursday is Thanksgiving. Yay! Thanks, Hex. So I love you guys so much, and feel free to ask questions. You can reach out. Again, if you are asking me questions specifically, ask a couple times. If I don't answer the first time, If I could, without like breaking confidences, if I could show you my daily message thing, it's probably like 25 different people that message me on a daily basis, and I don't mind, but it takes me a while to get back to everybody. So be patient and give me a little time and message me again. If I don't get back to you, it might have fallen down lower than I can scroll through. And I love you guys so much. You guys keep me going. I hope you know that, because truly you keep me going. All right, love you guys. We will talk to you next time. Just got to keep trucking, getting accumulated. My dad being on. Oh, I know, Estelle. I'm putting you in my Reiki basket, honey. Be good. Love you.
Bye.